Hey everybody, it's Precious. I'm back. I know, guys, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to like do more videos, but I didn't. I was actually supposed to do some videos last month, but I was recording on my iPhone and like it just didn't work out basically. I think that was it. I was like, I'm not gonna upload again until I actually buy a camera, and I actually bought a camera now. It's not my DSLR camera, but it's a simple kind of like vloggy kind of camera that has a viewfinder that I'm looking at right now. So if I'm looking at that, I'm sorry. But it will enable me to be able to record on the go and take pictures and be able to like do more videos for you guys in the meantime. So, whew, this year, boy, this year has been a situation. I have to be honest with you, especially with the whole coronavirus situation. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy that if you're watching this, hopefully you're well, that my family's well. And to be honest with you, that's like kind of important at the end of the day. Also, a side note, if I'm blurring in and out, I'm sorry. Like, I don't actually know why it's doing that. I guess it's auto-focusing, I guess. I don't know how this works. So forgive me. So, without me going into it kind of into detail, I did say off my last video that I was gonna go somewhere in the new year and plan and write my goals, and I did. I went to Portugal slash Spain because Spain and Portugal are not far from each other. So I actually went to both countries in that holiday. I took a week, not really a week, like maybe like 5 4 days off, and I went there and it was amazing. We managed to go Lisbon for a day, but we was in like in the Algarve area mainly, and it was just nice to be able to sit down, write my goals. Like I had this like purple book that I bought from Paper Chase, yeah, and I was just sitting outside looking at the views, just like writing my goals down, the things that I wanted to achieve. To be honest with you, I wrote goals for this year, but I kind of was thinking more bigger in terms of like what do I want to achieve in this next decade, because by the end of this decade I would be 20, no, I'll be 33 by the end of this decade. So by 2030, I'll be 33. So I was like, what is it that I want to achieve by the end of this decade? Actually, now I'll be 34. I'm really bad at this kind of stuff, honestly. But anyway, it was really nice writing those goals. I have to be honest with you. In regards to the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to travel, and I did manage to travel. I managed to go, as I said, to Portugal and Spain, and I managed to go later on around September to Italy, my favorite place, my favorite European country. Love Italy. I went to the same place around the same time that I went like 3 years ago. So it was such a nice trip to kind of like reminisce on the places and the food and where we went, and it was just a really nice experience. And I managed to go with my sister, which was amazing. Really wanted to go to other places, but because the whole lockdown situation and finances as well, because it's not cheap traveling, it just didn't work out very well. So in the end, I only managed to go to those places. But along the lines, I'm quite grateful because I'm working full time now. I mean, I've always been working full time. I mean, I got offered a permanent position in the company that I'm in. So before I was on a contract, and the contract finished, and they actually decided to keep me permanently. So, I understand that, right now it's not easy, especially for those who are working in specific areas, fields, and finding a job or being made redundant or being put on furlough has been quite horrific in most cases, especially when the government is not able to assist in the way that you thought they could. And if you're not even from the UK, like I don't even know like the struggle you're going through, so I can only imagine. So being blessed to be able to get a role, that permanent role, and that including pay rise, and just being a bit more comfortable with your money, because before it was a bit of a squeeze. And kind of growing into that has been, has been a grateful curve. And it's a hard one because I was going through pains in terms of transitioning into a full-time role and into a completely different role that I was in prior. And it's hard when you're going through that adjustment, especially when you're doing it all online. It was different when you're in the office and you can kind of like speak and, communicate. But when you're kind of going through it alone, it's very daunting and it can be very difficult, to be quite honest with you. And I was facing that moment, I can't lie, especially in the beginning of the lockdown, just having your whole routine just be knocked out the window and just becoming used to the norm that it is now has been so difficult. And for me, like, it's just been so useful for me to get myself back into a routine, eat a bit more healthier, exercise. And exercising is something I've never done before. And, because of the whole lockdown, I was like, girl, you're gaining weight. There was a time in the lockdown that I was the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Now, those who know me, that I'm quite a tall person. I'm not the skinniest person in the world, but I maintain myself pretty decently. I know after I turned 21, boy, my body started to change and things didn't go as quick as it used to go in terms of my metabolism, but I've always managed to maintain a good figure. Boy, this lockdown came to destroy our bellies. I tell you that. I went to looking like I was pregnant at one point. Like, I went big. And I was just like, I don't like this. And it was even walking to the shops, like I was like gasping for breath because I was so used to just being at home doing nothing. And then even going to the shops, it just wins you out. And so for me, I was like, girl, we need to get better. So, I started exercising, started doing jogging. Still don't really like exercising like that, but I appreciate the fact that it's for my health. So I started to jog, watching a bit what I eat, supplements. So I'm taking some supplement tablets. I'm gonna do a video on that because I believe this could help a lot of you out there in regards to supplements, knowing what your body needs, what your body wants, and especially through this whole winter period. So I'm definitely gonna do a video on that, or the supplements and the vitamins that I take that help me. And just kind of feeling good about myself, because there was a point where I was just hating my body because I just looked fat. And I had to kind of go through that phase of liking my body again, loving my body again, appreciate myself. I'm not at the weight I want to be. You can clearly see that. Look at my double chin. It's real. And contouring don't do nothing for me anymore. So, it's real. The weight gain is real. But I have to love myself, love the shape I'm in. Because I tell you this, probably 10, 20 years, I'll be looking at myself now and be like, actually, girl, you want that back? Do you know what I mean? So I guess that's one of the things that I've kind of been learning within my mind. I didn't really break it down into bits that could be understandable. I'm just kind of saying off the whim of my head. I think also another thing that I'm kind of proud about that I got is that I bought a car. I might do a video about my driving experience in terms of getting my license, because it's funny because literally I think it was either 2 days or a day that I passed last year was literally 1 year later I got my car, and it's a lovely car. I love it. I call that car my baby because it's literally my baby, and babies are expensive. Tell you that, but it's my baby. I love my baby, and I feel like my next 2 videos are gonna be about the car and about the supplements, because I feel like that'll be really useful. So I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, duh. And this is something that I feel like I'm metamorphosized. Oh, that's not even a word. Transforming into the person I'm meant to become. And I'm learning a lot about being unapologetically me. For such a long time, I've always tried to maintain myself, my thought process, or the way I speak, or the way I am, but sometimes dilute it. And I still do to a certain extent. I'm not saying I don't, but I was diluting it to the point where it was like, is this even still me anymore? And you just feel like you're losing your essence, like you're just losing yourself for like work or for other things you could be involved in. And I was just like, I'm fed up of that. Like next year, I just want to be myself. Like, I want to just be unapologetically me. Not saying that I'm not, because I am. I'm going to say it to you as it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. But I really want to kind of show more of myself in that way in the new year. So that's like one of the things that I'm working on internally to flourish in the next few years. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in terms of you know, how this year has been for me. I've kind of taken a step back as opposed to last year in regards to things I was doing. I was just kind of being a bit more reflective and working on my mentals, working on being closer to my family, just maintaining, my awareness of this whole situation. Obviously, there's been so much things happening, including Black Lives Matter. So I'm just trying to stay woke, trying to, work on myself and prepare myself for next year, because next year has to be better. Like, I'm not even trying to be rude. Like, we've done our best this year, but next year you're gonna have to surprise us, because this was something different. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of like my updates or how this year went. I'm not gonna do a video in regards to goals, because next year I don't think I'm gonna really have goals. I feel like I'm in that season where I don't want to have goals. I want things to like naturally happen, and I want to kind of take a step back and observe how things are, especially with the whole coronavirus situation. I don't want to kind of put goals in place and set situations make it not realistic. So I'm just going to be quite abstract in regards to what I want to do next year, and we'll see if I can be able to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. For those who are still subscribed or got to this point, like, thank you. How has been your year? If you want, you could put in the comments. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you do find this video interesting, like, you can click the thumbs up, you can subscribe, and you'll see me in my next video. Take care, guys.